think I've come up with something.
That looks good. That looks really good.
People want to
The
go on
Social Network, the Hollywood version of the founding of Facebook.
talking about taking the entire social experience of college and putting it online.
And it's a story of blockbuster dimensions.
200 hits within 2 hours?
22,000.
In a few short years, student Mark Zuckerberg and friends created a $50 billion empire. Now, another student and his friends are challenging one of the pillars of that empire, its privacy policy.
It is pretty much, hey, guys, you make money in Europe, you make business here, so let's stick to the laws. If they make business here, they should just, respect the laws and also maybe the culture that is different for privacy in Europe than it is in the US.
That's Max Schrems, the founder of Europe versus Facebook. And this is Teresa, one of his student friends and helpers.
He has a big talent for seeing what has to be done, and then a lot of people then would just say, well, somebody should do this, but he always does it too.
There's some obvious irony here. Facebook, created by students as a social network site for students, being challenged by its core constituency. But this is about as far as we can take any comparisons. Max Schrems makes it clear he's a Facebook user and wants to remain one. When he asked Facebook to send him a record of his personal data, he received a disk containing over 1,200 pages, much of which he thought he'd deleted. But it turns out Facebook still has it.
I'm kind of into privacy law. I like it a whole lot because it's like a new field of law where you don't know how it develops, what's going to be the outcome, and how the law is going to look like in 20 years. And when I was studying in California, that was the place where I was writing a paper on Facebook. And that's pretty much how the whole thing started out, because when I came back to Austria, I was talking to friends about it, and I was like, okay, they're not sticking to any of the European regulations. And we all agreed that it kind of makes sense to send it to the authority that's responsible for it instead of just have it sit on your computer.
The authority responsible for privacy law in this case is the Irish Data Protection Commission. Ireland is where Facebook bases its European operations. Because of the complaints filed by Europe versus Facebook, they're now investigating Facebook's privacy practices. Under European law, companies must have a reason for holding on to personal information.
So if you delete a friend on Facebook, you don't really delete it, you just shift it to another list. And in a lot of cases, deleting on Facebook just means that you hide things from yourself. For example, messages, like in their privacy policy, they said you're not able to delete a message ever, which means that, for example, in my case, most of my messages were deleted, but they were still on Facebook, they were just flagged as deleted. Deleted means that it's not there anymore and not just flagged as deleted.
But there's a bit more to Max's mission than Facebook holding on to his deleted messages. At the student hangout Café Rosa, his friend Teresa Heider says he has a strong sense of justice.
When he was on exchange in the US, he read about this topic, then he talked to somebody from Facebook, and I think this disrespect of that American person for European privacy law, I think that bugged him. That bugged his sense of, fairness. Yeah, exactly, fairness.
Back in Max's apartment, we discussed Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg's recent launch of their new profile.
This month, for example, Timeline might show everything that I've done. And last month a little less, and then for the rest of the year before that a little less, and last year even less, and so on. This is the magic behind how Timeline works, and it's how you can tell the whole story of your life on a single page.
And I put it to Max that all the data on Facebook is there because users want it there.
But the only sentence that said what they're actually doing with it is, we try to give you an efficient, customized, and safe experience. That sentence is the only thing that says what they're doing with the data. And I was like, that could be in some grocery store, that could be a gym saying that, we try to give you an efficient, customized, and safe experience. That's just total nonsense. What are you consenting to when you consent to this sentence? And that's a problem in general of Facebook, that a lot of people say, hey, you put it in yourself, it's your own fault. But actually, what are you opting in there? You have no idea what you do. And I was studying everything for like half a year, all the like privacy policies, help text, whatever, and I can still not tell you what they're actually doing with my data. And what I don't want is just to log off and just to say, okay, leave it. Because I think like if there would be like one email company worldwide and that pretty much has a monopoly on email, the option is not to, log off and send postcards again. It's got to be that you force this company to stick to the laws and provide a service that is what the users want and not what just the businesses want.
Facebook chief Mark Zuckerberg sees the world differently. This is from an interview given around 3 years ago.
Most people didn't want to put up any information about themselves on the internet, right? So we got people through this really big hurdle of wanting to put up their full name, a real picture, mobile phone number in a ton of cases, connections to real people. And the way that happened was by building really good privacy controls.
Max Schrems believes Europeans have a much stronger sense of personal privacy than Americans, and says that's reflected in European laws.
I was talking to different privacy guys from big shots from big companies. Their approach was kind of whoever has the data is the owner of it and can do whatever they want to. And they saw data as some kind of new oil, and now we got an engine to burn it and make billions of money off it, so why shouldn't we do it? And the European approach is more like your personal data belongs to yourself first of all, and you might give it to someone else if you want to, and there are regulations how you should give it to another one, blah, blah, blah. So we see data primarily as your own, as a part of yourself and as a part of your personality.
So to what extent is Europe versus Facebook an extension of Max Schrems' personality and ambitions? I asked Teresa if this was the start of a big law career.
I think it will have an influence in the way that he learns a lot of things, but he's not the kind of person who thinks, I need somebody to hire me, so I'll do this and that. So I think he's more of an idealist than that.
And Max Schrems insists this is not an anti-Facebook campaign.
I'm perfectly all right with anyone that wants to start their whole life. No problem with that. But not my life, and not if I didn't say yes to that and didn't agree to it. That's what the European laws provide for as well, is that you personally have to be the one to make decisions and not someone else.
But even if it finds Facebook in contravention of European privacy laws, the company will simply be given a warning and told to comply. Eventually, a €100,000 fine could be imposed. Facebook insists it's already meeting all legal obligations. Kerry Skyring, Deutsche Welle Radio, Vienna.